Greetings, everybody. We're back to work here today. Been really wet for the past week or so. Wet, kind of cold, crappy. Today, the sun's shining and it's going to be in the middle 80s, I think. Although I think there's supposed to be more rain coming here this afternoon, so I don't know. Really, really humid. You can tell by the floor just out here. It's all wet right here. It's just from the humidity inside my shop. It shut this damn radio off, or I won't be able to. Hold on here. Okay. Came down here earlier and started some fans because the floor of my shop is just getting damp from the humidity. But anyway, I gotta get some stuff put away here. What I'm gonna do today, or try to do today, something that's been bothering me, and if you follow me on, or not really follow me, but if you know me on Facebook on the, mainly the OSB boys, OSB underscore boys, you might have seen me on there talking about my front tire, front wheel sits back too far. You look at the space between the back of the tire and the fender, and then the front of the tire and the bumper there. And then also, if you, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but if you can line it up, shut these fans off. If you look where the spring is, it's tilted back just a little bit. And I've been looking at this fairly intense the last couple of days. I don't know if you can see that. I can't see it on the viewfinder thingy, but anyway. And I'll probably know a little bit more once I get the tires off. I can't pinpoint the exact center. Maybe it's not really that important. Some people have told me not to worry about it, but it does. That tire does rub the fender if everything is just right. If you're turning just right, and I think only when you're backing up, it seems to. It's rubbed a couple of times. I drove it around a couple of days ago and had no trouble at all, but I've got all the, I'm kind of jumping around here. I haven't made a video for a while. Got all of the leaks fixed. I had that oil leak in the front between the timing chain cover and the oil pan. I don't know if you can see, probably not right up in there, but anyway, I got it all fixed. Had to take it all apart again. Got it fixed, putting it back together, and I sprung a antifreeze leak, which was, not that it really matters. Hold on here. I was down here on this hose that goes into the this little hose that goes into the thermostat housing. That clamp wasn't tightened up, and it was upside down on the bottom. Could not get to that thing no matter what I tried. So I ended up having to drain the radiator out, or most part of it out. Take this hose off so I could get to that hose. I put a new clamp on it. Then I noticed there's a little rubber hose on the bottom of this metal pipe here, which I think you can see it there, down in there. And that hose just didn't look very good. I didn't feel good about it, so I went and I got a new hose for that. And then I noticed this hose had a little crack in it down here. And so I went and I got a new hose for that and put that on. And I refilled everything. Everything is good now. I've driven it quite a bit. I've probably put, I don't know, probably 60 or 70 miles on it. And no leaking, no, everything dry as could be. So I think I did a video on this. Oh, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I put a new dipstick tube in. My bracket was broke off. The one that goes down, again, I don't know if you can see it, bolts onto the exhaust manifold right down there. That had been broke for probably 10 years, and so it was just kind of moving around. Finally, right where it crosses on top of the exhaust manifold, where it gets really hot all the time, it cracked. And if I accelerated halfway hard, oil, of course, we push to the back of your oil pan, and everything churning around in there, it would come up, and it was enough to, that crack was about, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches up the tube. I think I've got the tube over here. And it was big enough that it would let, yeah, here it is. It was big enough that it would actually let, you know, quite a bit of oil come out of that. There's the crack right there. And when I did that, it'd dump on my exhaust and I'd see smoke. And at first I thought, shit, I'd let this thing sit without running it too much and things had dried out. But I've been trying to start it at least every couple of months and let it, you know, get up to operating temperature and run it up and down the road if possible. But so anyway, it's not smoking. It was oil getting on the exhaust. Now, back to what I'm doing today. When I put these extended radius arms on, I mounted those brackets, and I did according to the instructions, and apparently even by the instructions trucks can vary, and when I had the whole front end ripped off, I really didn't have much to go by. So that's what I went by, and evidently I'm about an inch off. It appears to be about an inch too far back, and it may look like it's more than that just by looking at the tire, but checking the wheelbase as close as I can, if everything is where I left it, which it appears to be, I think. I came out to about right at 132. And it's supposed to be 133. So I'm going to push the radius arm forward an inch. And how I'm going to do that is, let's see, I had one of these energy suspension body lift kits when I did the radiator, god damn it, radiator support on the front of that. I used the polyurethane on the bottom of those. Anyway, so I was looking for spacers. At first I was just going to use washers on the front side of the radius arm, which I think would work fine, except for I don't think the hole in those are big enough. I think it needs to be 7/8, which I believe that's what that is. I test fitted on my old one, so I assume they're the same. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two pieces here, that one and that one, along with a washer with each one of them, I think. And I'm going to take this, you got to drop the front suspension down and move everything. I'm going to put it back here, and these two pieces are going to go right behind that cupped washer. So these will go behind it in front of the rubber washer that's in there. This right here is just short of being an inch wide, and this is about a, what the hell was it, 16th I think. Eighth. About an 1/8 inch. So anyway, I'm gonna gain an inch or maybe just shy of an inch by doing this. Now the other problem I have though was back here on the back, there's an inch of thread sticking out. If you take that nut off, there's an inch from the back of this washer to back here, which, yeah, that might be actually a little bit more. Anyway, so when I put this washer, or this spacer plus the washer up front, move that forward, these threads are going to move forward and I'm not going to have enough threads sticking out. So we need to think about this just a little bit more, but I think what I'm going to have to do is take this off, pull this one out, which is, take these over so I don't forget where I put them, since I have a great tendency of putting something down and they just disappear. I believe that one is the same as this, and so what I need to do is take that and slice it vertically, you know, somewhere back in here. It's gonna thin it out some, but I gotta get some threads to bite into, so I need to cut through those enough to where I can get threads and nut. I want the threads at least flush with the back of the nut. So that's what we're up against, and I think if I can do that, that's going to move it, and I should have a 133 wheelbase. And that comes out about right. I put a level up against the spring. I think those springs are supposed to be vertical, and when I put it up at the top of the spring, put it level, when I get to the bottom, it's approximately an inch, just eyeballing it. I don't have enough hands to do everything, but so that's what I'm going to do. Only other option I had was and talking with some people online, would be to take this bracket. I could either take this off, possibly slot those holes, but then you run the risk of it moving around on you through vibration and so forth, and just, you know, your suspension takes a lot of abuse, so you run the risk of it walking in those slots. Other thing would be to take the bracket off, just weld those holes up and re-drill it forward to that. It's my understanding you're not supposed to weld on these frames. I know people have done it, and people have done it successfully without any issues. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to try this first, and hopefully I can get it moved up enough to where it's to my satisfaction, because I just don't like the way it's sitting, and I don't like the tire rub. It's so minimal that I think if those tires would wear just a little bit, it wouldn't rub. And with those, you know, you can tell by looking at the back of the tire, sits back behind the fender there, but you know, with the radius arms down there, you know, they pivot, and the front tire would actually move forward as the suspension compresses. So you don't want to go too far, but as it sits under its own weight like that, I think it should be, that spring should be vertical, because the caster's negative right now. So, and other trucks I've looked at, they're sitting that way. They're, you know, they're vertical. Although I've seen a lot of them like this too, but I just don't like it. I think it looks a little bit goofy. You know, you get off to the back or the front or whatever, just, you know, a little bit, and everything looks fine. So maybe it's just me, I don't know, but that's what I'm going to do. I want to get that taken care of. So that is what I'm working on today. I also want to get my emblems put on, the ones that go on the side there where those holes are, right there. So that's not a big deal. So anyway, I'm going to start getting this thing jacked up and see how big of a mess I can make. And that front valance, that black valance, that looks like it's starting to get torn up anyway. I've noticed a lot of people just remove these. Tire did rub on that too, and that might be why it's like that. Might have ripped that out. I don't remember if it was that way before or not. I'm pretty sure it had a crack in it before. But I think, actually might be able to stick it back on there, but I think most people, well, no, I don't know if most, but a lot of people just take that off. I think they do have a tendency to get beat up over the years. I mean, God, it is 21 years old, so so I may end up doing that too. Then there'd be no clearance issue on the front side of the tire, that's for sure. So I don't know. It's bothering me enough that I feel the need to do something, and if I can move it just a little bit. At first I was just going to move it 3/8 of an inch, which doesn't sound like much, but it's enough to where the tire wouldn't rub anymore. So I'll get it moved enough to where the tire won't rub no matter what. I'm gonna try to get it moved an inch forward, and I think that would be about right. So I'm gonna get busy, and I'll bring you back here and let you see what's going on in just a minute. Well, to you it'll be just a few seconds. To me it might be hours, I don't know. But anyway, see you in a bit. Okay, well, I finally got the radius arm out of the mount back here. Well, if you have a come along, it might work. I had a rope with a ratcheting pulley up on the front of it there. Kind of had to get it in the right vertical position to work its way out of there, and then it doesn't come out horribly hard, but it took a little doing to do it. Now I'm going to put that spacer on it and put it back together. So I'll show you that when I get her done. Basically, it's just kind of push it out of that bracket. It doesn't want to come real easy, but it's not horribly hard either. Just I need a little assistance. If you had two people, it might be a little easier. But anyway, I will. I'm going to put that spacer piece on there and put it back together. So I'll see you in a minute. Well, that was a lot of fun. Finally got it all done. It was a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. However, it did help straighten up my tire quite a bit. Still looks like it's back just a touch to me, but I measured it and it's got another inch of room between the back tire and the fender there. Actually, when I was trying to get that darn radius arm in the bracket, when I did that, when I had the shock off and the spring off, I actually put the wheel on it just to put some weight in a different spot, because I was having a heck of a time getting it to position itself. But anyway, I put the wheel on, and without the spring and the shock, the wheel would just go completely up as high as it could. And when it did that, it was, I'd have to say it was perfectly centered. It looked really good. But yeah, I can handle that. That looks better than it did. As far as this bushing down here went, holy cow! I did what I shut this fan off right here. I did what I said I was going to do, and I got that spacer in there on the front of that other one. The back, I had to cut that bushing down in order to get the washer and nut on there, and I hope that's okay. Time will tell. It may be, I think worst case scenario, it will be that back bushing will wear out faster than everything else, and if it does, and if I have to replace it or whatever, then so be it. But at least there's bushing all the way through that bracket, and then there's also, I mean, it's got, I can't show you where it cut off, but let's see. Now this isn't the same type of bushing, this is something else, but basically it's about like that. Cut it about right there, just squared it off, and that's the only way I could get a washer and a nut on it with everything squeezing and pulling together. I mean, it looks like I should be able to do that easily now, but there's 100 foot-pounds of torque on that nut, so it's, it's sucked the radius arm threads through there. There's just barely enough threads to get the nut started on it, and then I could tighten it up. But anyway, oh, that doesn't look too good, does it? Must have snagged that on something. Yeah, I think I'll be taking that off. It seems to have seen better days. So anyway, and I haven't pulled the truck forward or backward either, and that may settle it even more in the front. So I'm happy with it. Maybe it doesn't look any different to you, but to me it's quite a bit better than it was. So anyway, I'm not sure what more I'm going to do today. This took a lot longer than I had anticipated, but I haven't done the other side yet, but it should go a little faster now that I know what I have to do. But so yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that, maybe, and go ahead and put this up for you. Probably not going to get the badges put on today. I may do that tomorrow after work or something. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more. There's going to be a lot more coming. Bye bye. Okay, well, I just got back from running up and down the road. I just got done doing the other side, and then I took it for a little drive. But the other side didn't take me near as long as the first side, like those kind of things usually do. I don't know. It is sitting a little bit farther forward, and I'm not getting any rubbing when I back up or anything now. So I think I did some good, as long as that rear bushing isn't going to be a problem. Time will tell on that, I guess. But anyway, everything measures the same. It kind of think I might have to. I'm not sure. I don't know. May have to get an alignment again because I messed with the steering some, so I don't know. This one almost looks like it's pointing to the right of the line. I don't know why I didn't turn any of the adjusting. Well, this one looks like it's pointing to the left. So the toe looks like the toe might have gone out just a little bit. So maybe I can figure out how to. I know I can figure out how to set it in, but how much I need to set it in. Or I could just go get another alignment done, which would probably be the smart thing to do. But anyway, that is that. Took all of my Memorial Day afternoon to get that done. I think it looks better than it did. I'm happier with it than I was. Still seems like, well, I don't know. Center of the wheel is pretty in line with the spring, so and the spring's a lot more vertical now than it was. So that's where it's going to stay anyway. So now, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Give OSB _boys a visit on Facebook. That's where I'm hanging out most of the time, and there's a lot of good people over there. Anyway, thanks for watching, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Probably going to do some, I know I'm going to be putting the badges on, and maybe I'll finally get those wheel bearings done. I don't know. See you then. Bye.